putting in the vapor barrier, and also it reflects the heat. So I'm just kind of figuring it out for the first time here before I start showing it. This is actually a really nice material, pretty thick. I just had to, it's hard to see over here, but where I was cutting the wire to put it out, I was cutting it with I needed to cut it with the utility knife to make a hole, and it was actually pretty tough to poke it through. I put some foil tape on the outside here just to protect it, but I don't think it's going to rip, but just in case. So I'm going to start just working around this first layer, and then once this is done, work up to the next layer. Put it up. I'm trying to put as few nails as possible. I'm really only doing 3 nails here for, I guess it's about 4 feet tall. A little bit more in the corner just because it needs to hold, I think, a little bit better both directions. So I'm going to keep finishing this over here and then work my way around the corner on this side. I'm still wearing a mask just because it's got this all still open area, or open insulation here. Okay, so I finished the first layer along the bottom, but it's a lot harder to keep it running like I did a one continuous run like on the bottom. So I'm cutting a sheet out and putting it up. I don't really need to overlap it this much, but it's better than trying to cut it and just mess with it. So I'm gonna tape this edge along here as well. And then the ceiling is going to come overlap that, so I have this continuous shingling where the water can't run underneath it, it can only run over top. So I'm going to do this next section here. It makes it flow too hard to try to run it continuously. I can just tape the joints at home. I've already cut it out so it'll overlap. Hardest part is always getting it started. Pretty much held up, so I'm just gonna finish up each one of the studs here. Then I do finish up and go do the tape the joints. So you can see right here, it's taped or it's hard to see, but here, I'm going to finish up this joint right here. Everywhere where there's a joint, tape that up, and it's pretty easy. It's overlapped, so it doesn't really matter. You don't have to end up doing the whole thing. Just enough. There you go, so I'm just going to do this along the bottom there. Okay, I finished it. You can see the giant mess of all the tape here, but I got it all. Here's the exterior vent. Really in a lot of holes, just the light, the temperature sensor here, wire, and then the exit output. The intake is down here, and then a wire for the heater. Everything else is really just vapor barrier. So next will be putting up the strapping. The ceiling was obviously the hardest part. I didn't record that, but it was just, I had to put an extra joint in here just because it's 5 feet, and then The metal, or the foils, unfortunately, is only 4 inches or 4 feet. But I did really like this. Is really a high quality foil. It actually has a fiber mesh inside of here, which is hard to see. So it doesn't rip at all. It's really actually difficult to cut it, and tearing it didn't really tear very much. So it's pretty high quality.